Hello everyone, my name is Nargis Nasreen. So let's start today's video. We have covered few topics till now, that is about SQL and SQL components and the data types. So using all those things, we are going to create a database today and we'll see how to do that. And in one of the videos, we have already created it and we learned about few things also. So I will be using the same database in the table. So what I did, the database I had created before, I dropped that, that is I deleted that, we can say. And then again, I created it and I mentioned that I'm going to use that database. So yeah, we know about all of these queries. So I don't have to discuss much about it. Now, after this, what I'm going to do, we have created a database. Now we have to create a table inside that database, right? So what you will do, we are going to start with create table and the name of the table. So let's give the name as customers only. Okay. Then what we have to do? Now see, whenever we create a table, at least we need to give one column inside. If you are not going to do that, it is going to give you an error. Okay, because if we are creating a table, we have to mention one column at least. So let's start with the customer ID. See, in this, we will be using all of those things that we have already learned, but I will be using some extra things also, and that is what we will be learning in the future classes. Okay. So if I'm going to add customer ID, that will be of type integer. We have to mention the data type. Now, I am going to use other constraint also. Like what are these? So these are like what other things you want on this particular column. So I will mention that customer ID is not going to be null, that it is not going to be empty. So I have to use this constant that is called as not null. Second is every customer will have this unique customer ID will be auto-generated, okay, on the basis of like first come first serve we can say. So I will be mentioning that it is auto-increment. And I will make this as primary key also, so that one customer will have only unique customer ID. Okay. Primary key. Yeah. Then, if we have to create more than one column inside a table, we have to separate them using comma. So the second is going to be first name. Okay. And I will be writing the data type that is going to be a varchar, and the size is going to be, let's say 50. That is, yeah, like I think we can include a total number of 50 characters. Okay, maximum. And it is also going to be a not null. Okay, like first name section cannot be empty. Then the next section is for next column is last name with the same we can say things like data type with 50 and not null. Okay. The next is email address. Email address, and let's say this is also a varchar, and let's increase the size this time. It's totally on you how much you want to give. Okay, keeping the maximum size limit in mind. This is also going to be not null because it is very important. And email address is kind of unique for every customer or every user, we can say. So it is going to be unique. So for this, we can write on unique. Okay. Next column that we can make is purchase date, like on what date purchase happened, because it is very important. It is going to be of type date, and this should not be empty as well. So it is going to be not null. And we can add one more column. Let's see, number of complaints. What if the user is facing some kind of issue and they have generated some complaints? We're just going to store in one separate column, like how many complaints they have raised until now, like from the time they have joined this particular service. Okay, and it is going to be of type int. Now let's see. There is one customer, or not just one, there's few customers who are very satisfied with the product and they have never generated any complaint. So that section is going to be empty, right? Right? So, but if it is going to be empty, it will not look nice. So instead of keeping it empty, we can keep 0 there. 0 means no complaints. Okay. So there is one constraint that we call, which is default constraint. Okay, and you can give any default value here. So I will be writing 0. Okay, and here we are done. This is our last column, we can say, and in the end of the query we have to give semicolon. Now one more thing I want to talk about is, if you see this query, it is looking very much fine, we can understand, but this is still not a proper way of writing. uh, it is not compulsory, but it is recommended to keep the keywords in capital letter. Okay, in all caps, like create, table, end, not null. These are the keywords. Okay, we have to keep them in capital letter. How to, but if you are good at it, that is very nice. But if you're not handy at it, what you can do, you can write the query like this. Then you can click on this brush sign here, beautify, and it will change it for you. See, this is looking very much nice now. So like this you can do. Okay. Now let me execute this query and let's see whether it is going to work or not. So I will be clicking on this symbol and yeah, it runs successfully. Now let's refresh and let's see. Yeah, so we have this table and inside we have this customers table added. Now let's see the columns. So we have all the columns here. Okay. Okay. Now one more thing I want to talk about is, if you go on this customer, like inside table, the first table we have is, only table that we have is customers table. And you can see this eye icon. So if you're going to click on this, this is a very important part. Let me tell you. So it is going to give you the details about this table, like how many rows it has, I mean, a number of columns it is having, and like when was it created, size of the table and everything. What are the different columns and what are the constraint applied, everything. So why is it useful? Let's say you get a new database and you do not have any idea about it. So you can go through these section to understand about the constraint part and the number of columns and what type of data type, what are the primary key, foreign key we're using and everything. Okay, so we'll be talking about all of these things in detail. So let's continue. Now that we have created our table, let's see how it is looking like. So if I'm going to write on select star from customers, which is our table name. So let's see. So right now this is looking like this with no rows inside. So now let's try to insert some values. Okay. So to do that, we will be using insert command, which is DML, which comes under DML command. So let's write down insert. Okay. Insert into, and the table name is customers. And now we have to mention the columns. See, customer ID and the number of companies. We do not have to mention those. Like we have to see, customer ID is auto increment, so it is going to increase automatically. So we do not have to mention that. Now, if you are sure that number of complaints is 0, then do not mention it. If it is something other than 0, then you have to mention it. Okay. So let's see. So I will be writing first name, then last name, then email address, then purchase date. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Now, yeah, that's it. And now we have to write down values. So let's write down the first name. Let's say John. Last name. Let's say Will. Then next is email address. So let's write down John123@gmail.com. Then we have purchase date, which is of type date. So it will be inside quotation mark also. So let's include the date. Let's see 2023 Jan 20. Okay, that's it. So now let's give the semicolon outside of this, and let me see whether the brush thing will work on this or not. No, it's not working. Fine. So now let me execute this query, and yeah, it executed successfully. So now I'm again going to click on this select command, and let me see. Okay, see, So this is how it is looking like. We did not add the customer ID, but it was auto increment. So that is why it is 1. Name is, first name is John, then last name is Vic, email address, purchased it, number of complaints we did not add. But we mentioned that by default it is going to be 0. That is why it is. Okay. Now let's do this, that I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste, and I will be adding this number of complaints column, and I will be adding a value. It is of integer type, so we do not need to keep it in quotation mark. Let's say 6. Now the thing is, we need to change email address because we have mentioned that it is going to be unique. So let's change it to, let's say, 321. Okay. Now let me execute this again. Yeah, it is executed successfully. Now again, let's click on select query, which is line number 12. Let's execute, and now we have 2 values. See, so it is auto increment. So it is right now 2. Then John, Vic, email address, date, and number of complaints 6. Okay, so this is how we can use insert command. Okay, now we have other commands also, like update, delete, drop, truncate. We have learned about all of these things, so but we already know how to execute all those. So now you have to just play around with all these things and try to create a database or a small database on your own. Try to add, more columns, like more tables inside a database. I just added one. You can add more tables inside. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. And do not worry about these constraints that we have used, because this is what we'll be learning in our next classes. Okay, and we'll be learning in detail. Okay, so about this class, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. So thank you so much for watching this video. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.